Hey everyone, Marathon Hurdler here, back with some more Final Fantasy VIII. Last time, we met with the president of Estar, who just happens to be Squall's father, and who also happens to be Laguna. We got our intel on Ultimacia, which unfortunately did not reveal very much about her motives, and then we got our final mission to take her on and save the world. But instead of doing that, we're going to be making some final preparations today before we finally start grinding for max stats. So today we're going to be taking on a number of GFs, which are going to help us in our quest for max stats. Off screen, I made a couple of adjustments to my setup. I brought Keistis and Irvine into the party. I also used the card mod ability to refine a couple of water crystals from the Vasticulin. Yeah, sure, whatever. But the reason I wanted to do that was because the water crystals can be refined into 50 water spells each. Now, it would be great if you had enough of them to give 100 to Irvine as well, but we'll be fine without that. It's not something that's super serious. And the reason we want to do this is because the first GF we're going to be taking on has a weakness to water, which we can take advantage of. So, I think everything else is set there. You do want to have a couple of meltdown spells, and if you have the aura spell, that'd be really great. And yeah, I think we're all set to go. So what we want to do is, you see that little cactus that keeps popping up? Well, we want to run into it. So I think we may have done so. It looked like we were kind of far away, but I think we'll be fine. Yeah, okay, we got him. So yeah, this is the Jumbo Cactuar, and that's going to be our next summon. He's not particularly hard to defeat, but there are a couple of things about him which make him slightly challenging. So first of all, let's get use Meltdown on the Jumbo Cactuar to put Vitality 0 on him, which will reduce his defense, and then Aura on Irvine so we can start using our limit breaks. So the first thing that's tough about him is his defense, which we've already dealt with by... Which we dealt with by using the Meltdown spell. The second challenge with him is that he has an attack called 10,000 Needles, which does a guaranteed 10,000 points of damage to you no matter what. So even if you have max HP, which we don't, it's basically guaranteed death. So that's annoying. The third thing that makes him very difficult is that when you get him down to low health, and I think the number is about 5% health, the game will tell you, or it'll show you a text box saying that he's hesitating. And that means you're basically in danger of having him run away, which is no good. And so what you have to worry about there is once he gets down to about 2% health, if you don't kill him fast enough, he will run away from battle. And that's no good, because then he regains all of his health and you have to do this all over again. But we're doing all right. So I think we should be okay. We should be able to kill him before he gets to that point. But he does have a lot of HP, which is the other challenge here. So it wouldn't hurt if you had more powerful weapons or better ammo to use against him, but it also isn't going to kill you either way. Yeah, I've never had a problem killing him, but we'll see what happens here. I mean, we're doing fine, but I think we're at a point now where he might start or it might say he's going to be hesitating here in a second if we aren't careful. I can't remember how much HP he has at this level. He's at a pretty low level, so I don't know. I know that at the highest level he has quite a bit of HP, and I did not do very well there. But we got the finishing move anyway. So, but yeah, we're doing like 10,000 points of damage plus per hit, per attack, so I think we should be in pretty good shape. But we'll see. We'll see. And let's get an aura on Squall there. Yep, we got him. He's done. Easy enough, like I said. We didn't even give him a chance to use the 10,000 Needles attack, so works for me. Now, one other thing I should mention about this island before we leave, because I will be coming back here at a later point, is that this island... Oh, I don't want to delete his name there. This island, the only enemies that you could ever run into here in a random encounter are Cactuars, and you'll often find them in groups of 2 or 3. What's nice about Cactuars is that each Cactuar will give you 20 AP for killing it, while only giving you like 2 or 3 experience. It's really, really little. So you can basically fight these guys over and over again, get very little experience, but get more than enough AP to teach all of your GFs the abilities they need. And in fact, that's what I strongly recommend that you do at this point. Maybe not quite yet, but once we pick up the next summon, that's definitely what you're going to want to do. One other thing I should point out as we're moving to our next destination is that I'm not going to show off getting the Doom Train summon on screen, but after we leave this area, I will show you where you can go to pick up the steel pipes. And it's also a good idea to pick up the Doom Train summon as soon as you can. So at this point, if you took my advice and farmed those Malboro tentacles earlier, what you can do then is... Where is this place? What you can do once you get those Malboro tentacles... I'm having trouble finding it. But yeah, once you have the Malboro tentacles, you can use Cactuar Island. There it is. You can use the Cactuar Island to get the AP you need to learn medicine level up and medicine, or med data and medicine level up for Alexander. And then that'll let you get the Doom Train summon. And then the Doom Train the Doom Train summon himself has some useful abilities. But once we get Bahamut, I guess I already spoiled what we're getting next. But once we get our next summon here, then I'll talk a little bit more about that. Now, I think if you bring Zell with you, he actually tells you more about this place. I completely forgot about that. I didn't forget, but I just didn't think to bring him with me. But it's not a big deal. So now what we want to do, once we're in this room, you'll notice here in a second that there's going to be a light that's going to show up on the screen. Yeah, so this game kind of becomes like this is basically a game of red light, green light. So what you want to do is whenever the core is, I guess he tells you here, whenever the light is on, you don't want to walk, or else you will almost certainly run into an encounter. You can't run away from the encounter, and that's just going to be a pain in the neck. One thing I want to do before I move on, though, just in case something goes wrong, I don't want to get this far and then start getting experience on accident. I want to give Keistis, I want to bring down her health, and then I think I want to switch my junctions ever so slightly here, because I need someone else to have a card ability right now. That should be okay. Yeah, so what I will do, just to make sure, just in case I forget to switch back later, I'll switch triple with Squall's Tornado, so he has as high of strength as we can possibly give him. And one more thing, sorry to be showing this all on screen here, I'm going to switch Aura with Meltdown, because I'm probably going to forget to switch back, so this will make life easier for me there. Alright, so we should be good. Now what you don't want to do is you don't want to be caught walking when that screen is on. Take 1 or 2 steps every time. When the light's on, you'll be fine. Now, the first time the light was on, you saw a little trick that this game likes to play on you sometimes. Sometimes the light will go off, or pretend like it's going off, but then come back on for a second, and it's kind of like, gotcha, and it's like and if you do that, then you're going to run into an enemy. So, like, it hasn't done it again since, but, like, it probably will here, like, this time, where it comes down, but then it started to fade, then it went back on. So I usually just wait until the light is basically completely off, like right now, and then just take a step there. Like, there's no rush, you have plenty of time, there's just no reason not to take your time. And now it's just doing it over and over again. I think it's just kind of being a jerk there. But yeah, we're pretty close, and then what we need to do is get to that screen up front there. Nope, we're not quite there yet. No need to rush it. No need to screw it up here. Yeah, so I think we have to go to kind of the right side. You see where those vines are there? I think that's kind of where we want to get. Perfect, we're there. So now we have a little quiz, and we have to choose the right answer to continue. Regardless of what answer you choose, you have to fight a ruby dragon after every question. If you get the question wrong, though, he will ask you the question again, and then you have to fight a ruby dragon a second time, which no one wants, right? So this first one, it's pretty easy. You only have one answer. So I'm going to pick the right answer here. I'm not going to show fighting the ruby dragon on screen. All you need to do is use the micro missile plus card technique that we've been using this entire time. So I'm not going to show that on screen, and then I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now we have another question, and the correct answer here is never. So once again, I'll be right back once I take on the ruby dragon. Okay, I'm back. So now for this one, there's two questions. What you want to do is choose the hidden third option. I think this game really tried to screw you there with that one. And that'll move on, and you won't have to fight another ruby dragon. A couple of things to point out about the ruby dragon, the second battle. First, I think that the ruby dragon was more powerful than our level because he had like 10,000 HP, which doesn't seem right for someone who's like a ruby dragon at level 7. Secondly, he actually managed to kill Keistis, which I wasn't expecting. So yeah, you got to be careful about that. But anyway, this after you've done that, we get to fight our next summon, which I already kind of spoiled that earlier, is Bahamut. And yeah, well, yes, you are a GF. Well, don't know what to tell you about that one, buddy. Anyway, so first thing you want to do, Aura on Irving, Meltdown on Bahamut. Okay, or not. That's alright, that's not going to work. Let's revive Keistis, and then use Hura on Keistis. I gotta play this more safely here. I can't be getting lazy now. So the first thing, once we get Keistis back on track here, we're going to want to use Aura on Irving and then Meltdown on Bahamut there. So yeah, Aura and then Meltdown. And now we can... shoot. I gotta slow down. There we go. And then we'll use our normal ammo on Bahamut there. Now, as you can see, Bahamut is not a pushover. He has some fairly strong physical attacks, and his Mega Flare in particular could be a serious problem for us if he gets it off. Because, as we know, every Bahamut in the game has to have Mega Flare, so we don't want him to cast that. So, ideally, we kill him before he has a chance to do that. So let's see. We'll use normal ammo again. And then a good Renzokuken. Now, instead of using Irving, I should mention as well that you could bring Zell with you. And in a little bit, I will be using Zell for some stuff here. The reason I didn't bring him with me for this is because I prefer Irving's Limit Break. It's just a little bit faster. Zell can do just as much damage, if not more, with this Limit Break. But it just takes a while, and this one's faster, so... Alright, so for beating him, we get a Hyper Wrist, and we get Bahamut's card, 40 AP, and we get the GF Bahamut. Awesome. So now, what I want to do is I'm actually going to... So we need to leave the area and then come back. So yeah, like, tells you about your path to your destiny awaits. I don't know who that is who's talking. But, yeah, we want to leave. So... One thing that I did not mention, and I feel really stupid for not mentioning this, the battle just went so quickly that I didn't think to. One thing that I should mention is that Bahamut has the full life spell, which you can draw from him. He's, obviously, as you can tell, he's pretty dangerous, so you might want to have some stronger junctions at this point, some stronger spells to junction to your defense and your HP if you're going to do that. You can get full lives in other ways, and there are other bosses where you can... draw full life from. I usually draw full life from Bahamut, but I've already done that in a backup file anyway, so I didn't feel the need to show it off, but I do want to mention that before I forget that you can get full life from Bahamut, so yeah, I would encourage you to do so. Now, what I want to show off here next is where you can get the steel pipes. Now, we had to leave the Deep Sea Research Center before we had to leave and then come back, so to be able to continue. There's a save point that shows up, but we had to leave to get that to show up. So I wanted to come here, and I'm going to show off where the Wendigo is. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go back to the Deep Sea Research Center. And while I'm at it, let's go ahead and switch Zell into the party, because we're actually going to want him around for what we're doing next. So let's do some quick junction exchange here, just to get Kesis' HP back down. And then we don't want Zell to be hurting there, so let's heal up Zell. Not like it really matters, but whatever. The other thing that I want to do, let's see. Kesis has Mug. That's not ideal. So let's switch our junctions again and give Kesis, or give Mug to Zell, so that we can use Micro Missile as soon as we are able to. So let's get rid of Encounter None. We'll put Mug on instead. And then, is that everything? Let's get rid of the stuff strengthened to your strength, because, yeah. How am I going to do this? I don't want to get rid of all my magic, though. I just... I feel like there should be an easier way to do this. There we go. Push square. There we go. Alright, so whenever I find the enemy I'm looking for, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I actually went to the wrong location initially. The area you want to be in is called the Great Plains of Galbadia, as you can see here. Further, you want to be in the area that's a little bit darker. So you can see the sky is a bit dark here. We're near Delling City. You don't want to go over to the military base, which is also considered the Great Plains of Galbadia, but is not in the darkness. Now, the enemy we are looking for should be around here, so hopefully I find him soon. And when I do, I'll be right back. Alright, I found the enemy I'm looking for. So, the guy we're looking for is called the Wendigo. And, yeah, he's not very powerful, but what we want to do is we want to mug him. And when we do, we can get a steel pipe, which is exactly what we're looking for. So now, I'm just going to, if I can get my limit break to go off here, there we go, Micro Missile and card. Now you may be wondering why I am insisting on carding him instead of running away. The reason is, in Final Fantasy VIII, you actually get experience points for damaging an enemy, even if you run away. So, I want to, whenever I do something like this, I want to show off that I am still carding the enemy, because if you don't, then you'll get experience that you don't want. Whereas if you card the enemy, you get no experience whatsoever. So, that's the goal there. For most encounters, you know, if you don't want to deal with the experience, just run away. It's easier than trying to card the enemy a lot of times. But, yeah, in this case, we needed to do that. So, I'm going to put Encounter None back on Zell here. Let's see. And at this point, as we're back to a place where we don't really care about the junctions at this moment. Because we're not going to be fighting any enemies, again, that we're worried about. We're not going to be fighting any more encounters where we have to worry about getting killed until we are actually ready to start doing our level grinding. So, at this point, junctions don't really matter. What I do want to do, though, is head back to the Deep Sea Research Center, because once we do that, then we'll be ready to move on and get to the next thing that we need to do. And this is not actually based on getting a summon, but the reason I want to continue with this quest right now is because we're going to be coming back to this spot later to farm. And the next episode, I would really like to dedicate that as much as possible to just giving information on grinding, as opposed to needing to explore different areas. So I want next episode to be as focused as possible on the grinding. So yeah, that's why I'm going to do this now. And then once we're done with this, there's one more area that I need to explore before we are finally ready to go. So let's see. I thought there was supposed to be a save point here. Maybe I need to equip Move Find. So who has Siren? It's not you. Is it you? Yep, and you have Move Find equipped, so I don't understand why there's no save point there. Or maybe you have to talk to the pit or something? I'm confused. How did I screw this up? What do I need to do? Oh. Okay. I'm an idiot. So, what you need to do, and this is one of those minor details that, because I took so long between, in the middle of this project, a lot of the notes that I made when I was going through the project the first time that I didn't think I would need to make detailed notes for because, hey, I'm going to do this all in one shot anyway, are now notes that I'm wishing I would have spent more time on. So, anyway, as stupid as it is, I don't know why you need to do this. You need to get into Ragnarok, go into the ship, and then go into this passenger room over here. And then for some reason, after you've done that, then you're ready to continue. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why that's important, but that's how it goes. So, one thing I didn't show off, and I guess I might as well show it off now since, well, I had to come back in here anyway so that this whole segment doesn't seem useless. I want to quickly show off what the new GFs that we have can do. Bahamut is useful because he comes equipped with the ability ×4, so if you didn't get a Rosetta Stone earlier, or if you only got the one Rosetta Stone from Estar, now you can do your level grinding with 2 characters instead of 1, so that's why he's really important. He has some other abilities that are useful, Mug, Auto Protect, Rare Item, but we're not that concerned about that. Cactuar is really important because he comes with all of the bonus abilities already equipped, which is really important. He also has Defend, which isn't super important now, but will become important later in the game. So it doesn't really matter who we give these GFs to. I'm just going to randomly assign them. I mean, I fought some battles, as you saw, without them equipped. I mean, so it's not like I'm that concerned about it. But, having that will make life easier for us a little bit anyway. So yeah, let's continue on. So now, we're finally ready to continue exploring the Deep Sea Research Center. Now, one thing I need to remember regarding this area is there are a lot of fixed encounters here, and one thing I have to remind myself of, or I'm trying to remember, is if there are a lot of them on the way down to where we need to get. I think there are, so we're going to be fighting some encounters. I think we can't avoid them, and I think most of them will be against enemies that we're not really concerned with, even though they're technically new enemies, because most of the enemies in this game are new because I've shown off very few of them. I'm not going to show off encounters here, even if they are new enemies, because at this point, all the enemies that we're going to fight, they're all going to be the same thing, basically. Micro Missile, card. Micro Missile, card. Until we get to the bottom, at which point I'll start talking about what we're going to do with that. So, yeah. So now that we're here, we want to go down the little vine and we can explore this area a little bit more. So now we need to talk to both of our party members. So talk to Zal here. Or not, maybe Keistis? I thought you had to talk to both of them, but... So maybe just Keistis. I thought Zell would have something to say. I mean, Zell plays a pretty important role here, so I thought you needed to speak to him as well. Anyway. Of course it's still functional. So this is a pretty silly minigame type thing. So basically you have 20 energy blocks. You have to go down 6 floors, or steam pressure. And then you have to expend energy to go down to each floor. And then you need to have enough to get down to the bottom. Not that hard. We're currently on level 2. And then we need to pick the energy. They don't even give us a choice here. They're going to make us use 4 blocks to go down to the next floor. And then we need to expend a certain amount of energy to keep going down to each. Yeah. So not too hard. So let's see. I want to make sure I do this right here. So Yeah. Yep, I think we'll be fine. So now we want to go down to the next floor. And I think we're going to run into some random encounter here, or fixed encounters here. So if I do, I'll edit those out. And if not, then we will move on to the next floor. Well, what do you know? We didn't actually run into any random encounters there. Alright, oh wait, the panel is back there. My mistake. Now I think I need to use 1 here. I think that's right. Yep, it opened the door. Perfect. So we're in good shape there. Hopefully I didn't screw this up. Oh, I had to go around. Jeez. You have to go around that little side to the left there to actually go down. Again, I feel like we're going to run into some sort of random encounter at some point. If so, then I'll edit it out, but it doesn't. I must be misremembering this. So, again, we're going to use 1 Steam unit to go down to the next floor. Or maybe I'm thinking I usually come here without encounter none equipped, so then you run into encounters that way. Because we haven't run into anything yet. Not that I'm complaining, because it means less editing out for me, but still. So now we go over here. We need to use another 1 to go down to the next floor. So this puzzle is not particularly interesting, but yeah. That's really all there is to say about that. But there is a reason why we wanted to bring Zell, and you know, I'm not just doing this for kicks right now. I mean, obviously there's more to this side quest than just expending some energy, but we're not going to actually finish the quest today. But to do what I want to do, you need to bring Zell with you. So this is going to be perfect. Alright. Open up the door. Which is not really a door in this case, it's actually an elevator. And we can take it down. So now we are at the quote-unquote bottom. And this is where we need enough energy to get... I mean, we need... When it said we need to save stuff for the bottom, this is why. But if you bring Zell, then he can actually open the door up for you for free. So even if you... Because I think you need 10 units to open up. So basically the whole point of this game is you need to have 10 units left once you get to the bottom. Now, based on what you've seen, every single one only has an option of 1 or 0, except for the first 2. So basically, if you can screw yourself by spending too much on the first 2 floors, and then you're kind of in trouble towards the end. But if you bring Zell with you, regardless of how many units you have, he'll get you in basically for free. So bringing Zell is basically a fail-safe in case you don't know how many units to spend. And yeah, like I said, he opens the door for you. But there is a catch, and the catch is what we're really interested in here. The catch to all of this is that if you bring Zell with you and you have him open the door for you for free, then once you get to this next area, which I'm going to show off here in just a second, then you're basically put into, or all of these floors here, you can kind of see we have this nice little area here. Oh wait, there's a fixed encounter here, I think. Well, I guess I can kind of talk about this as you go along. I go along then. So if you have Zell open the door for you, all these areas down here have fixed encounters. So all these areas have fixed encounters. But that's actually not a bad thing. You actually want that because these enemies have items that we really, 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 really want. So yeah, you actually want to bring Zell down here, not because he can open the door for you for free, because you don't actually need him for that, but because you can actually get some really good items from the enemies here, which are going to be very important for us in our pursuit of max stats. One of those enemies is the Tri-Face, who has curse spikes, which is useful for all sorts of reasons, including getting Ultima Stone, not Ultima Stone, the Ultima Spell. What else can we get? We can get Rosetta Stones. We can also get just a ton of stuff from the enemies here, from those guys alone, not to mention everything else. But I don't want to talk about all of that right now. That's not why I came down here. But I wanted to come here and have a save file ready so that at the beginning of next episode I can come here in better detail the farming that I'm going to do here, while also discussing all of the leveling up as well. So that's why I wanted to do that. Another thing, as with perfect timing, you could see that I just learned medicine data, which opens up this medicine level up ability, which you will want to pick up as soon as possible if you want to get the Doom Train summoned. So I showed you how to get the steel pipes. I talked to you about the Malboro tentacles. The last thing you need are the remedy pluses. You get those by using medicine level up. You take 60 remedies, use a medicine level up ability, you can turn that into 6 remedy pluses. Once you have those, then you use the Solomon ring. That's all you have to do. Just select Solomon ring in the item menu, and then you get the Doom Train summon. And I'll show off the Doom Train summon later, but I don't think I'll be able to show off me picking him up. So there's one last thing that I want to do, which requires me to go back to another area, back to the Central Ruins. I actually have a save file set up, just waiting outside of the Central Ruins, so I'm going to pop over to that, and then I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I'm on a different save file here. As you can see, my party setup is different. But I also wanted to show off something. You can see I don't have the Bahamut summon here. So, as I was explaining earlier, this is where things get a little bit disjointed because I have a bunch of save files at different places. So I could show off different things specifically. But you don't need the Bahamut summon at this point. I will quickly show off what my setup looks like. In this game, unlike my previous game, I actually did not refine the... Where is it? I did not refine card. I didn't refine the Keystis card, so I don't actually have the triples here, but you don't need them for what we're going to do. I do have... where is it? I do have Encounter None set up. Also notice that I have 2 characters with ability times 4. So what I did differently in this file, in this backup file, is I actually went after... what did I do? I went after the Rosetta Stones at Galbadia Prison, so I earned 3 of those Rosetta Stones by playing cards there. I still don't recommend it. It took a long time to get them, and I only did that to test how long it would take to get them using different methods. I don't think it's worth it, but again, you can if you want. The upside is you don't need to have Bahamut to get ability times 4. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly show off what I've got going on here. I do have Tornado for a couple of characters. I played a lot of cards, so I had a lot of windmills from refining Abyss Worms. So yeah, that's basically it. I also have the Meltdown ability because I refined a bunch of Gyla cards because, again, I played a ton of cards trying to get those Rosetta Stones. So yeah, that's about it. Nothing else to show off here. You don't need to bring Irving or Zell with you. And yeah, we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and track down Odin. Now, one thing I should point out about getting Odin, or a couple of things about getting Odin. First, if you're going to get Odin at this point in the game, you need to be very, very sure that you are ready to level up, or be prepared to equip Encounter None indefinitely. Because otherwise you won't be able, because of the way Odin works, it will be hard for you not to gain experience once you've picked him up. So that's the first thing I should mention. Secondly, you don't have to pick up Odin at this point. If you pick up Odin now, that is before the end of... what is it? Disc 3, that's the disc that we are on, then you will actually end up losing Odin at a later point in the game and have him replaced with a different summon. So if you don't want that other summon, and you really want Odin instead, you need to wait to get Odin until Disc 4. Okay, so anyway, we have a puzzle here. I came here earlier and I mentioned the 20-minute countdown. Now we actually want to complete the puzzle. So we want to take the elevator up, then we want to take the left ladder all the way up, and then there's going to be a room that we can enter, and we'll continue the puzzle once we do that. You know, for having a 20-minute timer, and I guess they wouldn't know they have a 20-minute timer, they certainly lack a certain level of urgency, right? Come on, guys. Anyway, you want to push this little thing here, get those windmills turning there, And now we want to go down the ladder all the way back down to the bottom. And then, let's see. Once we take the ladder all the way back down, then there's I think there's an altar that starts, the altar is going to be glowing, and then we need to investigate the altar to continue with the puzzle here. So we do that, and then a set of stairs appears to the right. So now we want to go up the stairs. So now we have a couple of things here that we can do. First things first, I think we want to climb, no, we don't want to climb the ladder. We want to continue going right. So that ladder just leads us back to where we were a second ago. So now we have a ladder, a closed door, and some other stuff. So the first thing we want to do, climb the ladder. And we want to take out the eye of this gargoyle statue. I don't think everyone needs to jump with me here. I'm just picking up an item from the statue. It also helps to have encounter none for this, because I'm pretty sure you can still, what is it? I'm pretty sure you can run into time berries even up here. I don't know if any other enemies show up around here, but I'm pretty sure it's all time berries, so. Yeah, so then we take the eye out of the gargoyle statue, and we need to take these stairs up. And then there's going to be another ladder up here that we need to climb. I guess we got some seed experience as well for taking out Bahamut. How long that will last, I can't say. But now we need to put the eye into this gargoyle. So put in its left eye. And then we're going to get a code 36523. So 36523. Alright, so 36523. What are the odds that I screw this one up? We'll find out. So I need to remember the code. And then, oh no. And you see, I'm already screwing it up, guys. So before we move on, I'm so busy trying to remember the code that I forgot something else. What you actually need to do here is you need to take out both eyes before we go back down, because we're going to need them once we get down there. So take out the left eye and take out the right eye. Now I'm not particularly worried about this, because having done this multiple times before, we're going to have plenty of time to do what we need to do. But yeah, make sure to take out both eyes before you come downstairs. So then we head over to the ladder here, climb up, and then, yeah, run over to the statue. And let's see if I can remember the code correctly here. So now we go over to the statue, put both eyes in, and then it will give us an opportunity to put in our code. So the numbers appear up there, and then I think if you push left and right, yeah, so perfect. 3, 6, 5, 2, 3, and that should do it. Code accepted, perfect, and the door opens, and that will allow us to take on Odin. And yeah, because he's in that room. So no. This analog stick really frustrates me sometimes. It had been a while. I mean, I think the last time that I had a sucky ladder moment was, what, Disc 2, before I took my hiatus. So we've been doing pretty well, but let's go back to the D-pad. I don't want to screw with that again. So yeah, now we run in here, and that's basically it. Now, one thing that you might want to do here is, who has Mug? I think it's Kista's. So let's give her the Mug ability, because we can actually steal something of use from Odin here. Well, for honor. Anyway, so yeah, we have to fight Odin now. But he's not very tough at all. His defense is pretty high, but he doesn't actually attack you. He just stands there the entire time. So unless you fail to kill him before Unless you fail to kill him in time, then you'll be fine. And we're not doing much damage to him, but I'm not really worried about it. If things get desperate, then I will figure out something else, but I doubt we'll get to that point. One thing I should point out about Odin is that he has the triple spell that you can draw from him. Yeah, so you want to pick that up if you have not. That's an easy way to get 300 copies of the triple spell. So there's no reason not to take advantage of that. I'm not going to because I made another backup save file right after beating Odin where I've already drawn the 300 spells, so I'm not worried about it. But again, might be something you consider. And look, he's already dead. I mean, we were barely doing any damage to him and he's dead. So then you can see I have a little bit more experience here than I do in the other file, in large part because I was doing some Cactuar grinding to get all the GF abilities that I need. And so the way Odin works, and you also saw that we won the Odin card as well. But the way that Odin works, and I'll talk about this as I leave before I cut the episode off here. What makes Odin unique is that you don't actually get him as a summon that, or as a GF you can junction to yourself. Instead, he shows up randomly at the start of the battle, and what he does is he uses his Zanzatuken, whatever, Zanza whatever, and it immediately kills any enemies on screen. Now, he only shows up in battles where they are susceptible to instant death. Or not instant death, but he only shows up for non-boss battles, basically. And so it's not like it's going to be helpful for you from that perspective, with one exception, which we will see at some point. But what makes him an annoyance is that if you are fighting random encounters, he'll just show up and kill those enemies and give you experience that you didn't want. Which is why we did not want to pick him up earlier, especially given that we had more random encounters that we had, or some more fixed encounters that we needed to deal with before we were ready to start our level grinding. But now that we are, there's no reason not to pick him up. And again, I would go ahead and draw the triple spells from him. As you saw, he was really weak, and at this point, your magic should be high enough to where you can pick up those spells without any problem. So yeah, pick up the triple spells because you have very few chances to pick it up. That was one of them. Now, I think that is everything. Now, in this backup save file, I may have learned a few more abilities that might be useful. So let me just check to see if I've learned, for instance, medicine. Yeah, so I did learn medicine level up here. So with that, I'm actually going to show you how to get the remedy pluses that you need, if I can do that. So I have call shop. Man, perfect. So then all we need to do, you buy 60 remedies. You have 25 already. So then you have 60. Then you go to medicine level up. Go to your remedies. And now you have 6 remedy pluses. And I may already have had them. Let me check. Nope, I didn't have them before. So now you have 6 remedy pluses. I have 5 Malboro tentacles. Unfortunately, I can't get the or can I? Let me see if I have how many Malboro cards I have left. Because if I can get the Doom Train summon right now, I might as well do it, just to show off that it can be done, even if I don't do it later. Let's see. Where is Malboro? Nope, I am short 1 Malboro card. Wow, that is really unfortunate. But yeah, you have 6. But I've shown you how to do it all now, so I don't feel super guilty about not showing it on screen if that's how things go. But at this point, we have all the summons. We have basically all the summons that we need. We're only missing one. I'll discuss that one in the next episode. And so we are finally ready, for real this time, to do our max stats grinding. So next episode will be a mega episode of sorts where I just detail as much as I can and as long as the time it takes exactly what you should be doing to get max stats. But until then, this has been Marathon Hurdler. I want to thank you as always for checking out my videos, and hopefully I'll see you next time.